Hello ladies, welcome back. So first of all, I'm going to say this: if you like the video, when it gets to the end, thumbs up for me please. Share the damn video because I really do want this channel to grow and bloom and blossom. So let's get into this topic, which is all about goals when it comes to dating, because lots of people are going for the wrong types of men and then they're baffled when they haven't had the outcome in that dating experience that they were actually after. So let's avoid this from happening by going after the right kinds of guys. So let's delve into this a tiny bit deeper. So here's an example of not knowing what your goal is and going for the wrong guy. So one example is that you yourself actually deep down inside want to be married, but yet you are fooling around with some divorced guy who you know is never going to leave his wife. That is you just going with the flow, just going with the wind, and not actually knowing what the hell you're doing and not having a goal set in place. So it means that the only person who will be hurt in that situation is you. Another example of you not knowing what your goal is and therefore just wasting your time is when you are wanting to be a girlfriend who is provided for financially, and then you are still dating guys who are right now, even though it's quarantine lockdown, honey, standing on the street corner hustling. So you've got to think, are you going to get that lifestyle and the treatment that you want from that type of person? The answer is going to be no. It's going to be no. So you're wasting your precious time. And one thing that I know, guys, is that time can just go so quickly. Before you know it, 5 years has passed and you're like, whoa, where did the 5 years go? And I've had this for myself. I don't want you guys to go through the same thing. I want you to make changes now to your dating strategy. I want you to know what your goal is when it comes to dating so that you can avoid wasting your precious time. So here are some goal tips for you guys with dating to stop you from wasting your precious time. Goal number one is for you to identify what it is that you want in the long run. So some people don't want anything serious, and in that case you have a lot more options when it comes to guys. Some women actually want marriage, some women want to be mothers, some women just want to be sugar babies, some women just want to date long term but not necessarily short term, but not necessarily for marriage. So it's about you guys weighing up what your goal is and what you want your dating outcome to actually be. After you have identified that, you start looking at prospective men. So depending on what your goal for dating is, you will go for that specific type of man. So for instance, if you are wanting something marriage, if you are wanting to be married, then you really need to be dating men of a particular age who are open mentally to being married. If you're going for somebody who is 25, he probably won't want to be married, okay? But if you're going for somebody, say around 40, he's probably ready to be married and settle down. So it's about identifying what you want and going after that specific man. And I do kind of feel as though identifying that man can be a challenge, because lots of men, as we know, will tell you what they think you want to hear. And when that happens, it means that you guys, if you're not really with it up here and you don't know how this works yet, it means that you get swept up and caught up in the lie that he tells you to get what he wants in the moment, right? So that thing that he wants in the moment is usually intimacy. Sometimes it is just to have you on his arm as arm candy. Sometimes guys are using women for just to talk to because they're bored or because they want that attention from a woman, but they don't necessarily want to date you long term. Who knows? For you to have your goal and your outcome, I would suggest personally not voicing exactly what it is that you're wanting from this potential relationship or whatever it is that you're seeking to the man. And the reason why I suggest this is because when a guy knows what it is that you actually want, he's able to use that and voice that to you, that he wants the same thing, so that he can get what he wants from you. And I think that I can speak for all women when I say that we've all had a hit and run done on us at some point or another, where we have opened up our big mouths. We've told the guy, I want to be in love, I want this, I want that. And he has said that he wants the same thing. The next thing you know, you're on your back by yourself and he is on to the next one. You have wasted your time because of your vulnerability, okay? And you made yourself vulnerable by telling him exactly what he needed to hear to get what he wanted. So it's all about the strategy of it all and about not voicing exactly what it is that you want. So let me just make this very clear. This video is not for any women who think that they are doing this whole friends with benefits thing when really you are being mugged off and he is reaping benefits. No, this is for people who actually have a goal for themselves in mind that benefits them in some way. So friends with benefits, we're not even speaking to you ladies, we're speaking to women who actually like to benefit out of their dating situations, whether they be short-term or long-term. Sometimes you guys may feel as though you want one thing and then after a certain period of time you realize that you actually want another. That was the case for me when I started this channel. I was solely into sugaring, you guys know, and after a time I realized, no, I do want more than this. I want something with depth and I do want an actual relationship. And I feel as though, I know that some of you may want something really short term, or you just want a sugar daddy and you don't care how long it's going to last for. But I would really urge you guys, when you are thinking of your goals, for you to learn from my mistakes and realize that there really is a biological clock that you really must adhere to, darling, if you want to start a family of your own. When you start approaching a certain age, I don't want you guys to feel like, oh my gosh, I wish that I didn't spend all my time on, you know, sugar daddy sites instead of actually being in relationships that could lead to somewhere. Last point is that some of you are so preoccupied with what Tom, Dick and Harry thinks about what your goals in dating are and what your choices are, that it stops you from actually doing what you want. If you are choosing to be a sugar baby, that is nothing to be embarrassed of. It's actually embarrassing to be with somebody who has no ambition, who doesn't take you out on dates, who has no money in their bank account, who doesn't even have a current account open. That's actually embarrassing. But to be somebody's sugar baby is not an embarrassment. If you are not a sugar baby but you are a girlfriend who's provided for, that's nothing to be embarrassed of. You should actually be proud to be in that situation and proud that your man is a man and he can actually provide for you. So be proud of that and be happy in your situation. Also, if you're the type of woman who doesn't have the marriage bug or the baby bug, don't be upset about that and don't put pressure on yourself, because in society it can be deemed weird if you don't want to get married or if you don't want to have children. And if that's something that you don't want, then it's just something that you don't want, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it if that is not your goal, right? So this is all about you doing what works for you, you making the dating goals that you actually want and that will make you happy in your own life, because we're on this planet to enjoy the hell out of it, and we are on this planet to make the most out of it. So let's do that with our dating situations. So with that being said, I'm going to love you and leave you. Like I said, thumbs up this video, share it as well, because we are really trying to grow this channel, grow our family that we have here. Also, I hope that you guys are doing well with quarantine, and I hope that you are really just coping well and not having mental breakdowns like somebody in my comment said. It's really funny. Anyway, so I love you and leave you, and I'll see you guys soon.